Aloha, it's Matthew, and today is the first uh, all season plate episode. I really haven't thought of a good name for it yet. I think that might be what it falls to. Basically, this is a series where I want to highlight stamping plates that are multi purpose, like, especially if you're starting out brand new. If you invest in a plate that is very theme specific, trying to grab one for an example. Um, okay, never mind. That one is not theme specific. So if you get one that's like St. Patrick's Day, it's St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if you have like somebody else who has that's about it, right? There's not much else you can do with St. Patrick's Day. If you have lucky clovers, if you have like some I don't know what else you could use it for, you know? However, there are some plates that, like this one, are good for multiple uses, and I want to show you how. Um, Currently on my nails is the manicure I did this last week. It's growing out a little bit, so don't judge me. I didn't have time to redo my nails this morning. We're having a pet um, thing going on right now. Um, One of Scott's Goldens has seizures occasionally, and the other day he had a pretty bad run, and he's kind of just down for the count right now. We're not sure what to do. We've got a mobile vet coming so that we can figure out how to proceed. But in as much, I figured I would sneak off and just try and be creative and try and share this with you guys. So this is plate M359. It's called the Terrazzo plate, and it's supposed to look like terrazzo tile. You can use it a couple different ways. See, there are letters here, A1, A2, and A3. So these three stack in order and are about the same particle size, right? And they'll stack to where they don't really land on each other too much. And then the same with B1, B2, B3, which has a smaller particle size, clearly. And then C1, C2, C3 is a larger particle size. You can mix and match any of these. However, I would suggest that if you go like CAB or whatever, that's the order I would do it in. I would go largest, whichever one you're going to use, that's the largest part, and then the next size down or the smallest size, like in that order. For the reason that if you started with the small ones and then came in with the big ones might cover up some of the smaller specs. Um, it could be a look. You can give that a shot too. Um, there's no wrong answers here. If it's what you find you like on your nails, then follow your heart and do that. Let's take a look at what's on the rack today. Um, we've got Orly Breathable in Lost in the Maze, this gold nail here. Hollow Taco One Coat Black. And I know the name is One Coat Black. It's literally in the name, but I'm always dumbfounded. I'm just like, I'm awestruck when it just goes and it's One Coat Black. I know it's in the name, but it's still so impressive. This is also Hollow Taco. This is Low Key Blushing from their fall release this last year. That's the pink here. I have Sally Hansen Insta-Dry White on Time, which is the white base right here. And then the purple one here is Perplexed, the Sally Hansen Miracle Gel line. It's like a shimmery, metallic-y purple, right? So let's get those out of the way. Those are the bases that we're working with today. So for the first nail here, the Lost in the Maze, I want to use the bigger particle size. And I did give this a practice run, and I hope that, well, let's go with it. Let's see what we got going. Let's give this a little twirl to mix it up a little bit. And I did a video a week or so back, maybe 2 weeks, where I tried out clear jelly stamper plates for the first time and was not very successful. Um, I wasn't bashing on clear jelly stamper, just to be clear. I just was struggling with the plate. So I'm not giving up and I'm gonna keep trying. Let's get this ready here. So don't think that I've given up. Uh-huh. A little blob down there on the corner, but I'm just gonna avoid that section and go right there in the middle. Oh, whoops. Well, I should have been paying attention to that. I got the C1 on the nail. Um, Maybe just cover that up with a blob, and no one will know the difference. Um, so there's that quick recovery. Okay. Yeah, with the clear jelly stampers, I just had this plate here, the triangular plate. I just could not get that one to pick up, no matter what. Um, in the original video, I did have my overhead fan on low, and I turned it off when I went to go start using different plates. But I went back later on when I wasn't filming, and I'm gonna insert a photo right here, I think. And with that, with the other plate, the essentials plate, I I was able to get solid pickups on a couple things. So I mean, it's not the plates. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna keep trying. I haven't given up, and I definitely was not bashing their product. It just wasn't working for whatever reason. So let's pick this up. Let's just get rid of that C2 just, just so I don't stamp it on again. Okay, and so now this one kind of lines up in between those particles. Okay. And you know what? I think I'm going to stop there. You don't have to technically use all three. That was one thing I wanted to say. You don't have to use all three if you don't want to, because I think if I stop there, it looks nice. On the practice one, oh, Sandy found someone. On the practice one I did here, it kind of looks like gold and black cow print because I did all three. And I didn't quite let the gold dry enough. That's why it's a little blobby under there. Um, but I think stopping at this 2 makes it, I don't know, does it still kind of look like golden cow print? Well, I did want to put a matte top coat on it and see what that looks like. But before I put a matte top coat on, I'm going to hit it with the smudge-free top coat. So let me do that real quick. Because even with putting that matte top coat on, it'll slightly reactivate the black stamping polish, and then it'll smudge. So by putting the smudge free on first, we can come back here in a minute and put the matte top coat on. So let's just put that aside for now, and I'm going to switch this around to the medium-sized particles. Just going to rub my thumbprint off there so that there's no oil. I did put some cuticle oil on my fingers right before I started, since I didn't have a time to redo my mani. Okay, so for the black nail, over the one coat black, I'm going to use the Sunbeams collection, I think it's called, from Maniology. Oh, the black over there was straight up black, if you're not familiar. It's their B171 straight up black. It's their staple black polish. And then this Sunbeams collection is really cool because it's got these iridescents in it, and they show up. This one's called Fish Scale B476, Sandbar B475, and Seaweed B477. they're named by what color actually shows up, because this one looks green in the bottle, right? And if you put it over a white, I believe you get a green iridescence, right? But the fish scale, it's going to come out on black. That whatever that shimmer is going to show up on the black. So I'm going to do the medium particles here. And that's the cool thing about iridescent polishes, is that you can manipulate how they look based on... that was not a good pickup. There's a bunch of extra. It's hard to see that on camera, actually, even in real life. Dog hair on the back of my stamper there. Sorry, yanked that out, and I gotta get it settled back in there. Okay. Let's clean that plate and try again. So, if everything goes good with Doggo and Scott doesn't need me to stay around and be supportive, then I actually have a trip planned to go visit my best friend Christopher. I'm really looking forward to that. He's he and his partner moved to Oahu, if you haven't heard the story yet. And I don't know about y'all, but as an adult, I find it harder and harder to find friends. I don't go to bars that often. I don't drink, so I just don't go to bars that often. Occasionally we do, Scott and I, but just not regularly. And also, we live on an island, so there's a set amount of people that live here that we can meet, you know what I mean? So there is a finite amount of possibilities to begin with. Okay, that's a better pickup. Okay, I hope... now I don't want to get the okay, I didn't actually get the A1 on my stamp. It's kind of hard to see, but once I set it on the black here, there you go. Can you... yeah, you can see that those shimmers pick up. Okay. Oh yeah, that's cool looking. Okay. Oh, so I guess I should keep explaining. So now, the idea behind this all-season plates is that they can be used for anything you want, like this, where I'm going, just in a black and iridescent theme, or you can also use them for a holiday. I'll show you here in a moment. I have one picked out for... oh yeah, this one's coming together. I have one picked out for let's see here. I've got one picked out for Valentine's Day, and then one picked out for Mardi Gras as well. Okay, so let's hit this last particle, and this is going to be with the seaweed. Another reason I chose to introduce this plate first, specifically for beginners, is that the best part about this plate is that these parts, at least, these speckles, don't need to be perfect. Like, that's another... hang on, sorry, I'm concentrating. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks great. That's another thing about this plate in particular. Oh my gosh, that looks great. So I'll zoom in here at the end so that we can look at the details, but that's looking really cool. What I was trying to say is that if these particles are... if you don't get a good pickup on one, or if there's a little specky spot, it doesn't matter on this one in particular, because no one's going to pick it up and point out, there's a little dot missing on that one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's another reason why this one's a really good one for beginners, is that the design doesn't have to be picked up exactly perfect. Like when I was struggling with the CJS one, um, that could be very frustrating for a beginner. Well, it was frustrating for me, I'll tell you that much. Oh my god, that looks amazing. Okay. But even more so, like if you start with something that doesn't need to be precisely accurate, I think that that's a great way to start because you can let little errors or little not errors but little mess ups be just fine. You let it exist, right? Okay, so now let's go with the smaller particle size, and we're doing a neutral Valentine's Day look. So I'm using Nutmeg B352 for my red, right? It's like a clay kind of red, right? And then I've got Nightingale B424 for my pink. It's a kind of a lilac-y soft pink. And then Coconut B268 for my white, right? So those are your classic, white, pink, and red are the things that you think of, the colors that one might think of for Valentine's Day, right? But I thought I would give it a little neutral spin here. Just going to get those guys cleaned up. Okay. And I think I need to you guys probably can't see the mess that's beginning because it's all that iridescence there, but I'm just going to flip around my paper towel diaper here. It's so I don't make a big mess, right? Okay, so let's flip that over like that. Okay, and we're doing small particle sizes. Let's bring back in everything else. Okay, small particle sizes, neutral Valentine's Day. Let me just wipe this. I want to wipe that. I'm just using a lint-free wipe to clear that up. Excuse me. Ooh, I swallowed wrong. Okay, the acetone that I'm using to clean this is 100% acetone, but it does leave a little fog on there. So I wanted to make sure to get that clear before I start trying to scrape. Okay, let me move that out of the way. And I want to start with the red on this one. Okay. And so another little pointer that somebody else brought to my attention when they were talking about layered stamps, because these are technically layered stamps, even though you're not trying to match them perfectly, right? They suggested taking like a post-it note and marking which end is the top of your stamper so that every time you pick up, you know which end is the top. For this one, it's not so necessary, right? Because this plate is very forgiving as far as where those dots land. And if they land on each other, it's not a big deal, right? Again, that's why I chose this plate in particular for the first one. Okay. And then we're going to go there. Oh my gosh, you guys, that looks so cute. I think that the small particle size might be my favorite so far. It kind of looks like, I don't know, like donut sprinkles or something. Okay, last one down here. And we're doing the coconut, which is just like a creamy white. So anytime I'm trying to do like a neutral look and I'm using white, oftentimes I will use the coconut because it's It's not as stark white. I don't know if I got a good scrape on that one. Oh, it'll work. It's not as stark white as like the Bam white. Okay, there's that. And then if you went out like this on February 14th, people are going to realize that's a Valentine's Day nail. You don't have to beat them over the head with hearts and flowers and, that's going to read Valentine's Day. And it's still very understated and neutral and love it. Okay, so let's put that on the rack. So for this white one, I was originally going to do traditional Valentine's Day colors. In fact, this was the set here that I had picked out: Blossom, Pumps, and Cherry Bomb, to do basically that same look but in more traditional colors. However, I pivoted right before starting because the original plan for my nails for this video was to do this polish. It's KB Shimmer Snow Much Fun. It's just loaded with all kind of sparkly garbage. There's holographics, there's white circular matte, there's white hex matte, there's hollow hexes, there's snowflakes, there's so much going on in there. Snow Much Fun, right? And then I was going to have my accent nail be the blue base coat, whatever blue base I was planning to use underneath that, because with so much going on in that polish, if you try and do it in 3 coats, it does start to get pretty thick. And then let me get a new cotton ball. Starts to get thick, and then it just looks like lumpy stuff with too much glitter. But if you put a base coat of blue on, or maybe even like a light white, or what was that white that was in the Orly Color Pass for their winter one? The one that was white with just a tinge of blue in it. That I think would be a great base for that polish. And then on the accent nail, I was going to use these tiny particle size, this one, to make it look like snow, right? And again, this plate is very versatile. And I haven't even used any of these yet, right? If you wanted to do like a springtime look, like Easter stuff, you could do pastel dots and then do like a green leaf or any of these green leaferys. So you can also use, there's a whole section over here that I haven't even touched yet. Now for this snow look, I'm grabbing a metallic blue here to start, because you gotta have some kind of shimmer, right? Some kind of bling. This one is Twinkle Toes B497. It came in the box of joy. Sandra. So, sorry, Sandra's alerting us to a killer, I don't know what. Somebody's riding a bike out on the road. Okay, so let's keep going. I think Cindy's home today, so hopefully she will rein her in. Sandra really takes her job of letting us know about those predatory bicyclists serious. It is what it is, right? I would miss it if it were gone. And here we go with more snow dots. Forgive the barking, you guys. At this point right here, right now, there's nothing I can do about it unless I go holler like I did the other video, and I realize that like hollering into my microphone is probably not the most pleasant thing for you guys. So now that she's done barking, we're back to normal. Good. Those killer pedestrians. Typically, I try to remember to shut that front door, because if she can't see him, then she barks less. She doesn't stop entirely. She still somehow hears them go by. Like, oh, if they're talking, like if it's like a pair of pedestrians. She's just she takes her job seriously. Protector of the house. Okay. Okay, the last pickup here is like that. Oh yeah. And I'm loving that. And so now I do want to do, I was thinking of doing this one white base with these colors for my, for the, for my Valentine's Day manicure. Goodness, I could not get that out of my mouth. For the one I want to wear. Um, I'll probably do that as my main 8 fingers and then do some sort of accent on my ninth. So that's another point I wanted to make, is that you could do this look on all or most of your nails, and then whichever nail you choose for accent, you can tie in another plate. Like if you don't think that this is reading Valentine's Day enough, you can always put a heart stamp on your accent finger just to make sure everybody knows it's Valentine's Day. But honestly, I think that that one reads Valentine's Day. Okay, so there's a matte top coat. We'll set that and let it get mattified while we work on this last nail, which is the Mardi Gras party nail. And if you're not familiar with Mardi Gras, the main colors of Mardi Gras are purple, gold, and green. So I started with the purple base, and this one is another one where I think I'm just going to do 2 stamps, 1 gold, 1 green. And with that, I've got B350 Cozy and For Sure B495. This one came in the same set as the blue holiday one. They did come in the box of joy, but I think that they're also available on the Maniology website now, as they weren't exclusive to the box. And I think for Mardi Gras, I'm going to do middle size particles because I think I want it to look kind of like confetti, right? So let's get, now with this Cozy, I know that it's sometimes a little tricky to work with, so I'm going to try and move as fast as I can. Yeah. And then put that down. And see, like what I was talking about in the beginning, buying specific plates that are only good for, I mean, that are really geared toward one day or holiday or something like that. Like if I got a Mardi Gras plate, there's really only, like, I guess you could probably wear that manicure the week of Mardi Gras, but aside from that, there's not much you could do with like something that specific throughout the rest of the year, right? So this series is gearing toward recommending plates that you can use year round. That's the main idea of this. And also for beginners who don't know what plates to start with, these, in my opinion, are going to be good recommendations for starter plates, to like really fill out your collection to begin with. To begin with plates that are multi-use, right? So let's go ahead and, you know what? I simply forget almost every single time. If you're liking my video, feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I almost always forget to say that until the very end. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So here's the gold on black, black on gold. And I think maybe it did end up kind of looking like gold cow print, but you know what? If you're going to a hootenanny or a hoedown and you want to be fancy with your cow print, you could go gold cow print. Do it. Here's that. Oh yeah, look at those on the black there. That's just so pretty. Those colors, and they're so vivid, like gems, right? And then there's the neutral Valentine's Day theme. And then here we got snow. I think that reads as snow, especially if you had a bunch of snowflakes on all your other fingers, or if this was your main manicure and then on your accent nail you just did a couple snowflakes, that could work. And then here's the Mardi Gras with the green, the gold, and the purple. And I think that's today's plate. Honorable mention for the first plate in this series was M298, which is the brush strokes plate. You can, for me, when I swatch out my polishes, I've decided that, well, this one hasn't been swatched yet. Pay no mind to that one. I've decided that this is the plate that I almost always use because you can get 5 different swatches before you have to clean your plate and start again, right? But then on top of that, you have all these fun designs that have nothing to do with anything. They're not any kind of theme specific. So you can do whatever color you want to do as your base. And then on your accent nail, you can pick any one of these fun, this one's kind of like a gradient, right? This one here. And this one is, again, like I was saying with the, it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of this stuff looks intentionally imperfect. So that way, if you get a bad pickup, like this one, look at that one's really broken up. If you get a bad pickup, it doesn't matter because it's going to look fine. It's going to look intentional. So that was my honorable mention. It's probably going to get its own video because I really do like this plate. But the star of today's show was Maniology M359, the Terrazzo plate. And there's all this stuff over here that I didn't even touch. So with that, I'll see you next time. Bye.